Dave Scott, Hub Media with Lill from CMHA. Last month, we started to talk about Christmas. And for our November show, I really wanted to dive into this because Christmas can be such an emotional roller coaster. I mean, when first three things when we're talking about mental health, with Christmas, I thought anxiety, addiction, stress. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's not cool. But I want to talk about those things because I think it's important for people to get control of them now before the Christmas season is upon them. Understand what your goals are and have realistic expectations. Lill, help me get through this. How are we going to help folks understand Christmas better and what they can do to help themselves?
And I love that you made reference to unrealistic expectations, because the bottom line, that's sometimes what causes us the stress and anxiety. We think that this is going to be like a so-called magical Christmas, and perhaps it just doesn't turn into that. Stress and anxiety from seeing family members that perhaps you don't get along with, or, there's history there. There's many things that can come together that can make Christmas a little, make people uneasy for Christmas. You talked about addictions as well. This is the time where people overindulge. That temptation may be there. So despite the Hallmark Channel and everything that you see during the pre-Christmas build up and all that, Christmas is not always a magical time for everyone. And I think it's really important to know that, and also to, plan for what's coming, and also to understand that, it's okay if you're not a fan of Christmas. We were talking earlier that I'm not a fan of Christmas, and I'm proud. I mean, when we were children, it was a whole different story. We believed in Santa Claus and everything was rosy, but as adults, there is stress and a lot of things that go along with Christmas. So, I think we need to remember that we can only handle as much as we can handle. So if you have like 4 family dinners that you're obligated to attend, is it really necessary for you to go to all those family dinners? Can we do something differently? Can we tell people that, we don't want alcohol in the house, or if I'm coming to your house, please don't serve alcohol when I'm there? There's lots of things that we can do. And it's really important to just not overextend yourself. Just do what you can. Do what you can. We don't have to live up to the hype of Christmas if we're not able to do that. And I think that's where the unrealistic expectations comes in. We feel that we have to do this. We have to be in the Christmas spirit. We have to spend a ton of money that maybe we don't have on gifts and et cetera, and so on. Just always stay within your budget. Stay with people that you can be with, and really don't obligate yourself to do everything that's required for Christmas. And this may seem like the polar opposite of what, we feel Christmas is all about. But I think sometimes we lose sight of the true meaning of Christmas and get really wrapped up in the hype, in the commercialism, in the overindulgence, when really it's about, being nice to one another and treating everyone with kindness. And I think we really lose track of that. I'll give you an example. Last year, I tipped the gas station person, and I gave him $5, and, and he said, it's too bad that I appreciate it. He says, it's just too bad that everybody's only nice to us on this day, right? Which was Christmas Day. I was getting gas, and we had a little conversation because I was the only one getting gas before they closed. And I said, that's really sad. And he goes, well, everyone's running around and everyone's anxious and miserable and in a hurry and rude and impatient. We forget the true meaning of Christmas. And you know what? He was absolutely right. And I gave him another $5.
and to that, because I think I want to just touch on one more subject there, the traditions that families have provide that anxiety and stress sometimes. So I think it maybe start something new with your family is important too, to look at alternatives, like you said, because I think that all of a sudden there's this emphasis on this is the way we've always done it. And this is, generation. But I think a different approach sometimes makes you're creating something new and fun. Yeah.
Exactly, Dave. Creating new tradition. Who says you have to have a family long dinner for hours and hours and hours with excess? There's a lot of people that volunteer for serving Christmas meals to those who otherwise don't have a home or have a Christmas dinner. That's always an option as well. Sometimes giving back to the community makes you feel a lot better than, going to something that you don't really want to go at, or, worrying about, obligations, right? Sometimes people just do different things for the community, and that can be really rewarding.
I think you hit it right there, though, when you said getting involved in your community on Christmas, especially with dinners that help folks, it brings back the realization of what's important. And like you said,
Absolutely.
we do get caught up, and you don't have to go for the day, an hour, 2 hours. Lots of groups will just say, hey, come on in and help us serve or help us clean up.
Yep.
And it's that whole concept of understanding, like you just said with the gas station, understanding what it's about, getting back to the reality of just helping one another through the season and enjoying it. A last point, I want to touch on nostalgia, because I talked to a bunch of different folks because I knew we were doing this show, and I was surprised. 3 of the folks that I talked to had, there was 5, but there was 3 of them had their memories weren't family related. One was making the chain link, the little white, chains at Christmas at public school, and he's in his 70s, and that was one of his memories. Another one was the Christmas at school, the Christmas bake sale, the sounds and just enjoying the camaraderie with people and the fun of it all. And the other one, it was Sunday Mass. Like it wasn't even about church. It was just, that was the memory that stuck, was going to that, not so much about the family, but about those things. And I thought that spoke a lot to when we try and create these traditions, the family dinner, like you said, most of the time folks are remembering something different. They're maybe outside the home. So again, more reason to get outside and volunteer, or to be involved with other groups at Christmas and show your kids, show your grandkids how important it is to care about one another. I think that goes a long way for the mental health for Christmases down the road, don't you?
Absolutely, Dave. And that's our whole point, right? I mean, sure, some people love the family dinners and they love to get together and all that. That's fine. But it's really important to remember the true meaning of Christmas, which has always been, treat everyone with kindness and remember those that perhaps don't have what you have. That to me is the true meaning of Christmas. And that seems to be lost sometimes. And I think that's what is anxiety provoking and stressful. Right? Yeah.
And it's funny when you said about the gas station attendant. One of my friends said to me, because we were talking about this, and he said, I just like when we grab a coffee at Christmas and catch up. Like that to him that's the feeling of Christmas, because it's an opportunity for us to share time together, right? And have some fun. And I thought, well, that's cool. That's really what it's about. So it's important. Yes, there's nothing wrong with having the big dinner. We do it, you do it. It's part of what our culture is, but adding other elements to that is important too. And having fun with it, just enjoying who you're with that day. It doesn't have to be about the presents. It just has to be about the communication and, remembering things that maybe are positive in your life around that holiday. Because then you got to get ready for New Year's, and I know that can be fun. That can be a lot of fun too. But again, that might add to that pile of stress.
Sure
so,
might.
Folks, and you mentioned this when we were talking earlier. After the holidays, that's when you sort of see the climb and people coming to maybe need some help with CMHA. Isn't that right?
Yes. Usually people are just kind of caught up in the hoopla of the holidays, right? And because it's really the commercialism, it's really in your face, so you can't help but getting caught up. However, when the holidays are over, some people really experience a letdown and loneliness sets in, and you have more time to think about, what now? And this is a very long stretch between January and spring, and it's a difficult time for people. This is when we really see a lot of, clinical depression getting worse, suicidal thoughts. This is a tricky time after the holidays for sure.
I think we got to wrap this show up, because I think what we want, our whole point of this, and I know if you need help, definitely get in touch with CMHA. We want everyone to have a good Christmas, but the word that sticks with it, that you've been repeating over and over again is be kind to yourself, be kind to others. and you'll have a great Christmas.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line, folks. Anything
sure
else to
is.
add, Lill?
I agree.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this. Have a great Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year. I'll talk to you next. I know we're going to have one more show before Christmas, but I'll talk to you next month, and take care.
Okay. Thank you.